First things first though, how do you like my new haircut?
I really like it.
I'm
I noticed
dubious.
as soon as I walked in. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, how are you, Joy?
I'm good.
This is Joy, by the way.
Hello.
A friend of mine from school. You're doing Russian and French. Is that your degree? Russian
Yeah.
and French, and this is like some holiday.
Basically.
For me, I only discovered languages like 2 years ago, and now I'm like, oh my god, languages are like so cool. And so I thought it'd be fun to talk about how we've both ended up on different paths.
Yeah, maybe answer some questions for some people. I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. So I will start with a question for you then, because I never studied at university, never studied language at university. So I assume you do a lot of like, what I would say academic stuff. I imagine you did like some analysis of like Russian texts and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that
sure,
right?
For sure. So straight in, first year of university, you're doing modules for analysing literature, analysing translation, listening to music, watching, you can analyse cinema. I'm going to do that this year in final year.
That sounds fun.
It sounds fun. And
I would sign up for that course.
It sounds kind of like a DOS. Like.
But then you must be getting such a good grasp on the culture by being exposed to these things. And that's something that I've never done. Like I was saying to you as well, like in German, I've never read a German novel. Actually, I've read one German novel start to finish. But the vast majority of like German that I've read has been Harry Potter in translation. Which is not wildly culturally appropriate to Germany, you know?
No,
so,
I suppose not.
So do you feel like from your doing it at uni, you've got like a really good idea on Russian culture, French culture?
Yeah, definitely the artistic side of things, literature, cinema, history. We obviously have history modules that are in the language, the target language as well. So you get a lot of kind of basic knowledge, things that every Russian or every French person will know, like things about the revolutions and stuff like that. But then nothing could have prepared me, none of my education of French language prior to coming and living here for 2 months could have prepared me for the actual real life language that people use every single day.
You can't hide from it.
No.
You can't go and order your baguette in English without feeling so much guilt.
Exactly.
So do you find that you're getting more spontaneous with your French then from being here? I mean, your French is so much better than mine, so like just pinch of salt with everything I'm saying here. But
He's
like,
being nice.
But I guess it sounds like maybe when you got here, you weren't used to speaking as much.
Yeah.
And now you're speaking a lot.
For sure, because it's just not enough. Like just having 2 hours of oral a week or 3 hours of oral a week, it's just not the same as full immersion, total immersion, and just meeting French people all the time. The Russian, I feel like studying at university was the best way to start, because I started from scratch, I started from zero. Maybe it wouldn't have been the same with French, but with Russian I really found that I went from 0 to A2 in 1 year, really intense. In the first year we had a test every other week, and our tests accounted for about 20% of our final grade for that year. So that worked really well. Regular tests, regular checking of what level you're at, regular putting into practice the grammar that you've learned so far.
That's something I think you don't have in school here, because they're trying to teach it you as a practical skill. You never have to prove to anybody that you can do it. I think maybe that's what it is.
That's true.
They just throw it at you and you're expected to learn it and then go and like live in the world with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's because normally you're only ever there for about a month.
Yeah, we get given homework, but I haven't done anything.
No, you never have to do the homework. I
haven't done one piece of...
It's fully optional.
No.
But if I could go and do a degree again, I would definitely do languages, because like you say, you start from scratch, you're pushed through it, there's a structure, you go and do a year abroad, you come back. But there's another part of me that thinks what I'm doing is going to be much more efficient just for pure language acquisition.
It depends on the type of career you want. So like you say, for language acquisition, becoming comfortable in a language, being able to use the language every day, full immersion, I think is the best way. Even if you're going from 0, you'll get up to a pretty good standard. If you're going to a language school, or even a small one, even if there's no homework and there's not as much structure, I think it's the best. It's the most efficient, the most time efficient way, and the most enriching way. But for languages at university, languages as a degree, it's really useful for someone like me who I'm thinking of going into translation or interpretation as a career. I'm learning different skills than I'm using here in everyday life. So next semester I'm starting an interpretation course in French, which is something I've never tried, and it sounds like, oh, it's just translation, but
it's live translation in one ear and out your mouth in a different language. Exactly,
it's like a very different skill. I don't know if that really exists outside of university, outside of academics in general?
No, I think if your career was going to be languages, like you say, translation or
Interpretation.
Thank you, interpretation. Thank you for interpreting my silence as the correct word.
Yeah.
I think you have to have the formal structure behind it, and the skills that you're going to learn at university will be so different to what you might learn at a class.
Yeah.
For me, I want languages to be an enabler, a skill that will let me live and work in another country doing something completely unrelated, like doing a sort of normal job, but in Berlin or in Paris.
It's life with German or French or whatever language as an extra to just enhance and enrich the life that you already have. Yeah. That's also partly why I chose languages in the first place, because I do love meeting other people and discovering other cultures and getting to know more about different parts of the world, because I'm just so sick of England, if I'm honest.
Well, we were both saying it feels so awkward now when you go to a country and you can't speak the language, now that we've both have 2 foreign languages.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, I really want to go to Italy, but I feel so stupid not being able to speak Italian.
It's so true. Like, I have this weird linguist pride that how dare I turn up to a country and not speak their language. Like, just to add to the list, the list of many languages that I want to learn.
I have such a long list of languages. I like
Arabic is up there.
Yeah.
I would like to study Japanese just because I love the culture and I want to be able to travel to Japan and meet Japanese people and speak in Japanese. It might not be incredibly useful, but it's just to enhance yourself as a person, and that's not a bad thing.
Exactly. That's all languages though, right? Enhancing yourself. Yeah,
exactly. I think so.
Yeah. Well, that's a very positive note that we can end on, I think.
Expand your horizons.
Expand it, whether it's at language school or whether it's at university. Just go and do languages, I guess.
Yeah. Whichever way you're going to go.
Whichever way you're going to go.
It's going to enrich your life.
Alright, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you, Jo. Oh, before we go, if people want to follow you, how do they do it?
I don't really do anything on YouTube or in general. The most interesting part of my Instagram was this past year. From now on, it's just going to be me in
just
England.
back to university.
It's going to be really boring.
Your travelling is over now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of my best pictures, they're all been and gone. So, but you're welcome to link me in anyway.
Okay, I will. Okay.
No, thank you for having me. It's
no,
been
thank
really
you
fun.
for coming. All right. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.